Good evening, guys. I hope you are doing well. I hope you're fine. I hope everyone is good. I hope you've had your supper. Yeah, so this is the right time to embark on the future. Like I told you yesterday, I'm not that fine. My voice is not that good. I have some little flu. I hope it's normal flu, not. I hope it's normal influenza virus, not the other virus. So now, previously, I gave you this very work, okay? And this is the work I left you with, you guys, to go and brainstorm about it. And I'm amazed for the presentations that you've given. However, I'll make some few comments. Now, from, from the question, we can see the graph shows oxygen consumption. Now, before you think of anything, you need to first understand what is the relationship between oxygen consumption and temperature. And mind you, why do these guys, why do they have to consume some oxygen? Why should they consume oxygen? Okay? And so if you can establish the relationship between oxygen consumption and temperature and why organisms should consume oxygen, then you can easily tell why therefore oxygen consumption varies when environmental temperature changes. So if I remind you the little bit, we studied respiration and the videos are there where we're able to talk about aerobic respiration, and we say that this one takes place in presence of molecular oxygen. And so the higher the rate of respiration, then the higher the rate at which oxygen is going to be consumed. And now you need to know therefore which factors do affect respiration. And if you remember what we discussed when we were studying respiration, we saw that one of the factors that affect the rate of respiration was temperature. And which temperature? The room temperature or environmental temperature. Whereby at low temperature or at low environmental temperature, in homeotherms or in endotherms, the rate of respiration will be high. Why? That's what we studied previously. But as temperature increases, then the rate of respiration decreases up to a certain temperature. That's what we are going to study in the next slide. But so you need to know why is the rate of respiration increases, and hence oxygen consumption. But in ectotherms, for them, these guys are unable to regulate their body temperature, like how you said, for example, snake, whereby they keep their body temperature in relation to the environmental temperature. So as the environmental temperature increases, then the rate of the body temperature increases. And if the environmental temperature decreases, then also the body temperature decreases. And so we saw that one of the mechanisms for these guys, the ectotherms, to survive is at extremely low temperatures. In order for them to survive, then they will undergo what we call hibernation. And with hibernation, this is deliberate cut off. You cut off all the body's metabolism in order to cope up with such a stressing environmental condition. So that's why you're seeing nobody talked about this, but the decrease in oxygen consumption here is due to these guys are undergoing hibernation. They do hibernate, and so the rate of oxygen consumption is going to decrease. But as the environmental temperature increases, or they can say the ambient temperature, the room temperature, as the environmental temperature increases, then we are seeing an increase in oxygen consumption, because the body temperature for these guys is also increasing. And you know, if you increase the body temperature, then the rate of respiration is going to increase, so that these guys become now active. But we know that aerobic respiration occurs in presence of what? Oxygen. Okay? And so the rate of oxygen consumption is going to increase. So basically that's the overview. That's the overview. So you guys can sit down and write an essay. Okay? I'll give this question not less than 12 marks. So sit down and write an essay. Okay? That will try to answer this question. Comment on the relationship. So the first thing you do is you have to first give the relationship. You have to first comment on the relationship. And then after, you will explain, though that question is not there, but you give a possible explanation. That's brilliant, and that was really some brilliant work.